Okay. Hi, Cathy. Thanks so much for helping my project.
Yeah, of
Could you
course.
say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Cathy. Uh, I'm a software engineer at a tech company, and I've been working there for almost 3 years.
Did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
No, I didn't. I mean, I read your website, so I knew from there, but not before.
What do you think about it?
Um, yeah, I actually have a question. What are the what are the astronauts going to do there? I know that people have been landing on the moon since the 1960s, so I'm wondering what anything in particular they're going to do there?
Um, let's see. The last time we had people on the moon was 1972.
Hmm.
So this would be the first time in like 50 plus years. But
Hmm.
they're planning to go to the South Pole of the moon, where we've discovered that there's actually water ice stored in these permanently shadowed craters that are very, very cold. So, that's one thing that we want to find out about. And then just really kind of understand what the moon can tell us about the area of space that the Earth travels in. Like cosmic radiation and everything is like filtered out by our atmosphere, but hits the moon's surface, and there's records of it. And
Hmm.
like meteors are constantly hitting the Earth's atmosphere, but most of them burn up. The ones that don't burn up, most of them land in the ocean. The ones that do land on land get weathered over and vegetation. But a certain proportion of those have also been landing on the moon. So we have almost like a pristine record of sort of um, a sample of the things that have been bombarding the Earth
Hmm.
preserved on the moon. And then, maybe we'll discover some minerals that are unique to the moon because of its radiation and kind of its the unique environment. So, and then hopefully we'll learn the skills that lets us go further. So I mean that's kind of like the thing. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exciting. Um, I actually didn't know before you said that there was 50 years in between where like nobody landed on the moon. I kind of assumed that people were still doing it, but yeah, it's exciting because I'm pretty sure like technology has advanced a lot since the last moon landing. So yeah, I'm sure there will be like exciting new discoveries this time.
Well, and definitely video technology has improved so much. I mean,
Right.
it
Yeah.
should feel like we're almost there with the astronauts.
Yeah, people will be watching the live video.
But the more I think about sending people into space, the only reason I could think that actually justifies it is to send people into space. And what I mean by that is, um, I think it really comes down to your view of the future. Like, I mean, do you think that at some point humans will live in other places?
Um, I'd say it's possible, and I guess like yeah, I agree that the point of sending people into space is just is sending people into space. But like I feel like humans have this innate urge to discover the environments they live in, like in more primal times before there was any technology and stuff. People would explore all places on foot, and then there was um um like people from Europe, they sailed to the Americas and found new land over there. So right, and I guess like in the era we're living in right now, everything on Earth is pretty much charted. So I feel like it makes sense to go into space because there's still a lot of things we don't know over there. And I guess I'm not sure whether humans will be living outside of Earth. I guess not in the near future, but might be possible. Again, like there's a lot about space that we don't know yet, and I don't know. I guess maybe at least I think Earth couldn't be that unique. Like um, there might be some other planet like Earth somewhere in the universe.
Of course, it'd be so far away that it would take hundreds of years to get to.
Yeah, that's true. There, I guess like there's one question of discovering that such a place exists, and another question of actually communicating with whatever lives on there. Or, yeah, yeah, you're right. I guess like um might not really be feasible to actually move there or send people over there.
When you think about the future of humanity, say like
Mhm.
200 years out, what does it look like to you?
Um, 200 years. Uh, hmm. I I guess people will still be living on Earth, and um, future of humanity. Uh, uh, I'd say science and technology would play a much bigger role, and yeah, I feel like hmm, yeah, that's a pretty interesting question. I was thinking of something I read on a book about the Second World War, and it was talking about like with the um, invention of the nuclear bomb. The at least the author's point of view is that there will not be another world war because like at that point somebody would just like start a nuclear war, and then all of humanity will be erased within seconds. So um I guess like I'm not anticipating that's gonna happen. Um, but like I guess what I'm saying is I guess like politics wise, I feel like uh the the competition and the between countries, it'll be more about science and technology as opposed to like actual wars in the past. And in terms and like um and I feel like the world will be more connected. There will be more collaboration between different countries. And politics aside, in terms of science and technology, um, I don't know. My imagination isn't that good. I anticipate a lot of like advancements in medicine and obviously in space exploration. But like what exactly those things are going to be, I'm not sure.
Well, I have a couple of questions to kind of you know get some opinions on maybe the direction of it. Do you think there will be more or less or the same number of languages in 200 years as there are now?
I think there's going to be less.
Less,
Mhm.
like a lot less, or just just a few?
Um, I kind of feel like there will be a lot less, but yeah, because I feel like the trend, especially like some dialects spoken in villages or rural areas, since I feel like the trend is people are moving to like bigger cities and stuff, and I know that a lot of languages are already dying. At least the major languages for each country, I don't think like people will replace them with English or something like that. But I still feel like for the more rural areas and the villages, some languages are going to die out.
And then you also have all this language that's created around professions that are unique to those professions. I mean, it's like computer programmers talk their language, and then doctors talk their language, and auto mechanic talks their language, and they almost
Uh,
can't.
yeah.
The technical language is almost uh, unique. I mean, do you count those as languages?
Hmm. Yeah, if you factor those in, this actually reminds me of something funny. When I was applying for grad school in the US, I forgot which school it was. I think it was CMU. So it was asking me about my language proficiency, and aside from like the obvious choices like English, French, German, Chinese, it also had like C++ and Python on it. And I was thinking
That's
like, why is
wonderful.
it asking me for my mother tongue and then putting Python? Like, was I born speaking Python? But Yeah, if you consider those, sorry, what is your question again? Do I think those will disappear, or I
I
didn't
mean,
catch your question?
would you consider those as like being separate languages? People who speak like automotive or who speak computer programming, you know.
Uh, I'm not sure. I didn't. When I was answering the question earlier, I didn't consider those as languages because I guess like since they're only spoken within a certain profession, I'm pretty sure like even in ancient times, like I, actually I consider those more as an expertise as opposed to a language. Like in ancient times, some people knew how to like make weapons, some people knew how to weave fabric, and they would each have their own expertise, and it will be passed down from generation to generation. But the like um the weapon maker wouldn't necessarily know how to make clothes. So I yeah, so like even though I know there's a lot of jargon in different professions, and like computer science has like 100 languages right now. But I consider those more as a like professional expertise as opposed to a language.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Do you think people in 200 years would be living a lot longer or about the same or less than they are now?
Um, Probably longer.
I hope so.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like a lot longer. Maybe just a bit. Also, I think I read somewhere that the average lifespan uh in the past has I don't know whether this is true or not because I forgot where I read it, but I read somewhere that the average lifespan was increasing mainly not necessarily because elderly people were living for longer. It's mainly because like infant mortality was going down. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know whether that's true or not, but yeah, I think that life expectancy is going to increase, but maybe not by that much.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing to consider because with infant mortality going down, there might be a lot of genes that are, um, create health problems that actually, are propagated more often and longer than
Mhm.
before. So that's like something. It's kind of interesting to think about, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mhm.
So if you could, would you take a trip to space?
Um, if the technology is safe enough, I'm not that much of a risk. I don't go bungee jumping and stuff. But yeah, so it depends on like how risky it is. If it's a relatively common practice, like taking the airplane, or maybe even like a little less safe than that, I would go.
How about skydiving safe?
I don't go skydiving.
Hot balloon? Hot balloon safe?
Um, yeah, hot balloon safe. I
Hot
mean,
balloon
I
safe.
guess skydiving is safe because there's an instructor with you, but I'm just scared.
I know, me too. Is it the heights that scare you or something else?
Yeah, it's a heights.
Well, Kathy, that's pretty much all the questions I had for you. Did you have anything else you wanted to add or any questions for me?
Uh, no, not at the moment.
Well, Kathy, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Mhm, yeah, of course. Oh, I'm just curious. Like, I guess like you could stop the recording if you don't want to. Just
Oh,
curious, like, what are other people's outlook of humanity? What are some interesting answers you got?
yeah, yeah. They vary from everything to on the more negative side that the world's going to end very soon, to the positive side of we're going to have people living on Mars and on the Jupiters of Saturn and uh, the moons of Saturn and Jupiter, and we'll have people going to the next star system, and pretty much everything in between. So I've like talked with all of them, and some of them I've talked to people who I think like going to space is like the ultimate future of humanity and we have to do it. I've talked to others who are like, why are we wasting our time? It's pointless. We're only living here on Earth. And then I talked to some people that are like, well, the government's waste money on so many projects, might as well waste money on something inspirational. So it's been like the whole wide range of things, actually.
Mhm.
It's been really interesting. I talked to a guy in the mall with a chicken. You don't see that every day.
Wait, with a chicken like as a
Yeah,
pet?
he had a chicken and he was carrying it around the mall.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't ask him that, but he
Mhm.
does want to go to the moon. I'm not sure if that helps or hurts my cause, but I found that fishermen are fun to talk to because they're usually out there just fishing and they have time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's been good.
Yeah, they probably have a lot of time to think while they fish.
Exactly, exactly. And a lot of time to talk, and they talk to each other, and
Hmm.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And if you haven't tried already, I'd say maybe Uber drivers, because I do a lot of thinking when I drive. So I'm assuming if you drive everywhere, you probably do a lot of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And they talk to a whole wide range of people too,
Yeah. Hmm.
from all over the world usually. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's a good idea. Uber drivers. I interviewed the Shine person at the airport,
Uh-huh.
so that's another good one.
Hmm.
Since he talks a lot to people. So, but yeah, so that's been neat. Well, thank you again, Cathy, so much. I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Hmm. Yeah, of course. Happy to help.
Okay.
Yeah, have
Good
a good
night.
evening.
Bye bye.
Bye.